Hashtag YouTube News Anchor Script AI News Today. Good morning and welcome back to the channel. If you're anything like me, you've got your calendar marked for Apple's big developer conference coming up, and you're probably wondering what's actually going to happen. Well, we've got some intel on that today, plus a wild political situation that's surprisingly relevant to tech. So stick around as we break down the biggest stories in AI and tech news right now. Let's jump into our first story. Apple's Worldwide Developers Conference, or WWDC, is coming up in 2026, and the tech community is absolutely buzzing with speculation. PCMag decided to crowdsource predictions from their readers, and let me tell you, people have some incredibly bold ideas about what Apple might announce. We're talking everything from new operating system names for macOS to whether Apple will finally deliver on those rumors about a foldable iPhone. Now here's the thing that's interesting about this conversation. Every year leading up to WWDC, the rumor mill goes into overdrive. People are analyzing patent filings, supply chain leaks, and everything in between trying to figure out what's coming. The reality is that Apple typically saves its biggest announcements for these developer conferences, and this year is shaping up to be no different. From what we're hearing in the tech community, the focus seems to be on innovation in hardware, particularly around foldable devices, which would represent a pretty major shift in how Apple designs its products. The question is whether they're ready to make that move, and that's where all the speculation comes in. These kinds of predictions from the community actually matter because they help us understand what consumers are hungry for, what innovations people want to see, and where Apple might be headed next. Now let's shift gears completely to our second story, and this one comes from the New Republic. We're seeing significant internal chaos within the Republican Party, and while this might seem like straight politics, it actually has real implications for how policy gets made around technology and innovation. The report describes what they're calling a state of incredible disarray, with various factions within the party clashing over direction and leadership. What's relevant to our audience here is that Washington has enormous influence over tech policy, AI regulation, data privacy, and innovation funding. When you've got political instability and infighting at this level, it actually creates uncertainty in the policy landscape that affects every tech company from startups to giants like Apple and Google. Companies have to navigate different regulatory pressures, and investors get nervous about future policy direction. So while you might not think politics affects your AI news, it absolutely does. The people in Washington making decisions about AI oversight, data protection, and emerging technologies are right in the middle of this political situation. It's something to keep an eye on as we move forward. And finally, let's talk about some of the latest developments in AI infrastructure and developer tools. Miak AI Labs has been releasing several updates to their AI MCP server tools, and we're seeing Validator AMCP, UUID AMCP, and URL AMCP all hit version 1.0.6. Now these might not sound like flashy consumer products, but they're actually really important for the developers who are building the next generation of AI applications. These tools handle critical functions like JSON validation, email validation, URL parsing, UUID generation, and checking URLs for safety. Why does this matter? Because behind every AI application you interact with, there's an entire infrastructure of tools and systems that developers rely on to make sure everything works smoothly and securely. These kinds of updates might seem incremental, but they're part of the constant evolution happening in the developer ecosystem. As more companies build AI agents and automated systems, having reliable tools for validation and data handling becomes increasingly important. It's the unglamorous backbone of AI development that doesn't get the headlines but absolutely powers the industry. So there you have it. Apple's got the tech world waiting for WWDC announcements, political developments in Washington are creating uncertainty around tech policy, and developers continue refining the tools that power AI applications. These three stories are really interconnected when you step back and look at the bigger picture. Innovation, regulation, and infrastructure all have to work together for the AI and tech revolution to move forward. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this breakdown helpful, please like and subscribe for daily AI updates.